and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about habits, and I have my top habits that I do almost every day, if not every day, to keep my home looking clutter-free, to keep my life feeling decluttered, to keep myself feeling calm and in the present moment. So if you are ready to change your relationship with your stuff and clutter, I've got you. Let's jump right in. Alright, the first habit that people that live a clutter-free life do, I would almost guarantee, is that every day they do a 10 to 15 minute cleanup or putting things back where they belong. Just a reset of their home. And when you have done the deep legwork to declutter your home and you don't have too much stuff, even 5 minutes, you can really achieve a ton. I dare you, put on a timer and see how much you can clean up or declutter in 5 minutes. Decluttered people always have a bag or a bin where they can easily reduce the friction between things in their home that they no longer need and things that need to go. So you need a clutter bin, that is Clutter 101. You need something where you can put all your donatables super easily, and once it's full, you can take it to the donation center. Number 3, a habit that I guarantee a lot of people who live a clutter-free life live is the 5-minute rule. I don't know if it really is the 5-minute rule, I just made it up, but if something takes less than 5 minutes to achieve or accomplish, they do it. There's no procrastinating or overthinking. If it's gonna be short and quick, down and dirty, you do that thing, and over time it compounds and you end up with a decluttered home. Number 4, to-do lists, because no one needs to be keeping the mundane humdrum of everyday life up here. That's precious real estate for your best ideas. So people that live decluttered and organized lives usually have some kind of to-do list or some kind of area where they can brain dump everything, get that stuff out of their brain, and then tick it off as the day goes by. I don't know about you, if there are any other clutter-free loving peeps out there, but I love a good to-do list because I love checking things off my list. Number 5, training those around you, those who live with you, that could include little people as well, training your kids to look after their own things, to clean up after themselves, whatever is age appropriate for your children. You're not always going to get it right, but by modeling that behavior from a young age and encouraging them to clean up, you're going to start to train them to have a certain standard of living. They're going to want to live in a nice, calm, clean home. And so it starts from a young age from you. If your kids are older, or you live with roommates, or you live with a spouse, it's never too late. As they say, the best time to start was yesterday, and the next best time is right now. So don't think that you can't train people even later on in life. Make sure that everybody who lives in that house is pulling their weight. My rule is that if you live in the house and you benefit from it, then you need to work towards keeping that environment neat and tidy. Number 6, finishing off books or products or even items in the pantry before you buy anything else. So instead of buying a massive stack of books or even borrowing 15 books from the library, you consider only buying 2 or borrowing 3 books, so that you don't build up this clutter stack. You really can keep on top of things. The same with food, making sure you eat food in the pantry before you go out and buy more as much as possible, so that you don't have this backlog and extra surplus that you can't manage. Don't forget about your freezer. Number 7 is checking in your freezer and starting to use that food up. After all, food has an expiration date, and we waste so much food in this country. So make sure that you are not neglecting the freezer and the back of the pantry. Get creative with your meals. You really have no excuse. There are a million recipes online where you can just go and pop in your ingredients. You can go to allrecipes.com, put in the ingredient that you're trying to use up, and they will give you millions of recipes to choose from. So there are no excuses. But if you don't want to waste food and money and time that you use to even go and buy that food, make sure you are going to your pantry and shopping your freezer and your pantry and your fridge first before buying new food items. Number 8, I'm running out of fingers here. 1 in, 2 out rule. Especially if you have a surplus of clutter where you feel like you have too many clothes or too many books. Every time you bring one of that category back into the house, make sure you're donating 2 of those things. So that way, over time, you will be getting rid of things. And that does not require you to do a crazy decluttering purge. It just kind of keeps things nice and even, but with always you kind of giving more than you are receiving. Number 9, every few months, behaving as if you are moving. Now, I'm planning to do a video all about this, pretending that I'm moving, but in the meantime, what you need to do is almost pretend that you could be moving, because who knows, life changes. You could be moving in a few months. Nothing is certain, right? With that mindset in mind, like what would actually be worth taking with you and keeping in your home? If you go through each area of your home, whether that's a drawer, a cabinet, a full room, and you think, okay, if I were to move in a week or 2 weeks, like what would I actually want to go ahead and pack? That'll help you make a decision of what is worth keeping and what you should be letting go. So I love to use this trick when I'm feeling like I'm in a bit of a rut or I need a bit of extra motivation. If I pretend that I'm moving, and maybe that'll help manifest my dream house one day, then I can get rid of the clutter that I've kind of been beholden by all of this time. I also like to use this tip to declutter things that I don't see often or go into often, but over time slowly start to become overwhelmed by things, because things are kind of just shoved in there and then they're forgotten about, and you can trick yourself that it doesn't exist, but it does. So I love to use the idea that I could be moving to tackle those hard to do spaces. Number 10, it's not really a habit of clutter-free people, but it is a characteristic rather, and that is when they sense that their home is getting too cluttered for their personal clutter threshold, they don't feel good about it. They feel maybe a little bit more anxious, they feel like a little bit off kilter, and that's because they're used to having a clutter-free environment, and all of a sudden it's just getting too much. So I think once you start to adopt this lifestyle, you will realize how much stimulation is in your environment and how it's just annoying when you can't find things or you don't remember where something is because it's just too much inventory in your home. And then that's what people who have the habit of being clutter-free are like. They start to get a little itchy and they know it's time to do a deep declutter. Number 11, I'm going to stop with the hands now, but number 11, everything needs a home. So this is really Clutter 101 or Home Basics 101, but everything needs a home, and if that home is not working, you need to revise it. Perhaps the basket you were using is not the right container for the item that you have anymore. You found a better solution, or you've decluttered a whole bunch of things, so now you need to reallocate to somewhere else. Who knows? Your children moved their room around, or they moved to a different room, they switched with their siblings. It doesn't matter, but everything needs a home, and if you're finding that the things that are coming into your home are cluttering up a space or just lying there in the general area, then you know that you haven't found the right home for that item. Number 12 is not to overstuff drawers or cabinets. Ideally, in a clutter-free home, you want to be able to open a drawer, open a cabinet, open a door, and not have things fall out at you, be able to see everything that is there, especially the high traffic things, the things that you reach for the most. Everything needs to be able to open nice and smoothly, otherwise it's not accessible. It's resistance to actually being able to use it. You might as well not even have it because it's not very functional for you. And so it's really, really important that you have decluttered to the point where you keep space available, where maybe you have an empty drawer to fill things up eventually later, or you just have more flexibility to move things around. Super crucial. Number 13, taking out the recycling, the trash regularly. This is a habit of decluttering people because they know that, you know, things need to go somewhere and you need to create space for them to be donated, recycled, thrown out. And so it's very important that you're staying on top of that and that you're doing your duty when it comes to disposing of clutter responsibly. And then number 14, kind of like the moving example, but if you don't want to pretend that you're moving, what you can do is every week or so, depending on your schedule, maybe it's every second week, you allocate a deep dive of an area that you don't always touch. So for me, I have a bedroom cupboard that kind of has bits and bobs like wrapping paper and stationery and sewing supplies, things that I don't use every day, but that are important and don't really fit in my desk. But that area was getting a little bit out of control. So I went ahead and decluttered it and took everything out and threw away old receipts and old documents that are no longer relevant. It's incredible how much time will pass and things are no longer necessary anymore. Things that I struggled to let go of 6 months ago are easy for me to discard now. So I would encourage you to challenge yourself, not only with your daily routine of decluttering, but also going into your home and thinking, wow, that bathroom cabinet that I've rarely opened probably needs a little bit of TLC. Or the cupboard under the stairs, I'm a little nervous to go in there. Who knows what I will find. Or the garage. It doesn't have to be a huge dramatic thing. It can be one cupboard in the garage, or it could be one drawer in the bathroom that you don't always look at. It doesn't matter. Just give yourself the opportunity and the reminder to deep dive into one of those things so that you can stay on top of your clutter. And this way, you'll develop the habits of people that are living a clutter-free lifestyle just like you aspire to. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up. It really helps to support and grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, especially until the end. Super important. Please go ahead and subscribe if you like clutter-free living and clutter-free content, and I will keep making these videos for you. Let me know what you'd like to see from me in the comments down below, and which habit you found the most helpful or something that you would like to try. And until next time, have a great day, be kind to those around you, and I will see you in my next video.